I'm about as subtle as a death growl in an echo chamber. Hit it!
Welcome backstage. I'm Damian Deadlove. The year was 1996, September 4th to be precise. I'm watching the MTV Awards show for some reason. I've never been huge into watching the awards ceremony, not even for the live performances, mainly because the sound was never great on those shows, in my opinion, that is. Dennis Miller, the comedian, was the host that night. He's ready to announce the next presenter, and I was floored when he uttered the name Van Halen. Running with the Devil is queued up, and I'm waiting for the big reveal, waiting for the curtain to be pulled back, so to speak. Now, a little backstory here. This was not the digital age we're in now. You had to read music magazines or watch MTV to get news. The internet did exist, but we didn't have a smartphone constantly strapped to our hand at this point in time. All I knew was Sammy Hagar was out of the band. That had been in the news. Was he fired or did he quit? That depends upon what camp you're asking. I was kind of having a sense of deja vu as my mind cast itself back to 1985. Van Halen fans know what I'm talking about, and it ain't love. David Lee Roth had quit the band to pursue a solo career, according to the Van Halen brothers, that is. Dave's side of the story was he made the solo album, EP in this case, out of boredom. Mainly because Ed was never coming down to the studio, which was kind of ironic being it was in his own backyard. 5150 was already built and had already been used to record the iconic 1984 album. The band was working on what would become the 5150 album, except Dave would not be singing on that record. His replacement, Sammy Hagar, would be on vocals, which would start what some call the Van Hagar era of the group. Van Halen formed in Pasadena, California in 1973. Originally, it was just the brothers and bassist Mark Stone, going under the moniker of Mammoth. Ed was singing at the time, and they were doing backyard parties and playing cover songs. Dave was singing in a rival group called the Red Ball Jets, and the brothers would often pay to use Dave's PA system for gigs, until one fine day, as the story goes, they decided to combine their efforts. As a bonus, the brothers didn't have to rent the PA anymore. From 1974 to 1985, Van Halen was David Lee Roth vocals, Edward Van Halen guitar and backing vocals, Alex Van Halen drums, and Michael Anthony bass and backing vocals, giving us songs like Runnin' with the Devil, Ain't Talking About Love, Eruption, You Really Got Me, which was a Kinks cover, Dance the Night Away, Beautiful Girls, And the Cradle Will Rock, Everybody Wants Some, Unchained, Oh Pretty Woman, which was a Roy Orbison cover, Jump, Panama, Hot for Teacher, and I'll Wait. That's just some of the hits. We're not even talking about deep cuts, which is where a lot of the brilliant gems of composition reside. From 1985 to 1996, Sammy Hagar was on vocals, spawning hits like Why Can't This Be Love, Dreams, Best of Both Worlds, Love Walks In, When It's Love, Finish What You Started, Pound Cake, Run Around, Right Now, Top of the World, Can't Stop Loving You, Don't Tell Me What Love Can Do, and Feeling. Once again, there's killer deep cuts in this era as well. I'll end the history part of the story by saying this. Dave and Sammy are not big fans of one another, and that's putting it mildly. Diamond Dave and the Red Rocker even tried touring together. It didn't change their opinions of one another. There was some drama backstage, pun intended. Anyways, we now return you to your regularly scheduled program. Running with the Devil is playing. The curtain opens and out walks Ed, Alex, Mike. And bringing up the rear is Diamond Dave. Holy shit, the hair on my arms is standing up just thinking about it. Van Halen is reunited on stage before my eyes. They're all smiling. The vibe seems cool. The crowd is erupting with cheers all around them. DLR is off to the side, stirring up the crowd as only he can with hip swivels and hand gestures. I'm going to paraphrase what happens next. Ed tries to go right into presenting the award, but DLR is still in showman mode with the crowd. Dave finally makes his way to the podium, but instead of doing the presentation, he's in the moment. There's a handshake with Alex, a nod to Mike, and Ed puts out his hand to shake Dave's. DLR skips the handshake and gives Ed a hug. The people are enjoying this moment, and it seems we have peace. Then Dave steps up to the microphone and says something like this. Last time we was on stage together, it was over a decade ago. Notice how things have changed. It used to be, I want my MTV. Now it's, give me your MTV, motherfucker, or I'll blow your head off. Awkwardly, Ed pulls Dave back while laughing, and they proceed to present the award. Dave stays in character while Beck makes his acceptance speech. There is a sense of tension in the air now, but everybody heads backstage, and the network probably cuts to commercial break. I didn't care at that moment about the rest of the show. The mighty Van Halen had reunited. Fuck yeah, I'm on cloud nine. Happy ending, right? You folks know how this show works. Nothing is ever as it appears, and that's for sure. Turns out the brothers had decided to do a greatest hits album called The Best of Van Halen Volume 1, which was going to consist of 8 classic VH tracks and 6 tracks from the Van Hagar era, with a couple of bonuses. Human Being was being added from the Twister soundtrack, which was the last song that Hagar sung on that point in time. Then we got 2 new songs with DLR on vocals, which was Can't Get This Stuff No More and Me Wise Magic. I loved both of these songs. They had the new songs recorded before the award ceremony. Then after the appearance on MTV, they broke up. The brothers claim it was never a reunion other than to do the greatest hits album. Roth claims they were stringing him along, but he was wise to it. And to document that he was wise to what was up, he left us a whole roadmap within the lyrics of those 2 new songs. If you want the story behind the lyrics, you can find an interview article on the internet somewhere, I'm sure. I read it all the way back in 1997, so I know it exists. Also, I'd recommend reading DLR's autobiography, Crazy from the Heat. It's a great read. We didn't get music videos for the new songs, just the songs. While they were recording with Roth, they had secretly found a new singer by the name of Gary Cherone. He was the singer for the band Extreme, and is again currently, but I digress, that's a whole other ball of wax. There was a reunion in 2017 with DLR, only problem was, it wasn't the original lineup. Michael Anthony was fired from Van Halen for playing music with Sammy Hagar, while the brothers were inactive and doing nothing musically. Plus, Ed had just won his first bout of surviving cancer during that period. That's after a failed reunion with Hagar in 2004. Mike and Sammy still play music together to this day, whether it be Chickenfoot or The Circle. The 2007 tour had Ed's son Wolfgang on bass. We also got an album called A Different Kind of Truth, which I love. Not everyone feels the same as me, but it's all good. Wolfgang was on bass on that album. We got consolation prizes, but we never got the iconic moment us fans wanted. Unfortunately, we never will. Edward Van Halen passed away on October 6, 2020. Talks of a tribute show or tour were rumored, but have never come to fruition. I think that's not going to happen anyways. But we got the music, and that is forever. Rest in peace, Eddie Van Halen. That's our show for tonight. Remember, music is the soundtrack of our lives. Peace, love, and linen. I'm Damien Deadlove.